You think you know everything about loyalty in professional wrestling? You think you understand betrayal? What happened at WarGames didn't just break the rules of engagement, it shattered everything we thought we knew about one of the most volatile relationships in WWE history. While you were sitting there watching CM Punk fight for his life inside the demonic structure, while you were cheering for what seemed like an impossible alliance between sworn enemies, someone was waiting in the shadows with a betrayal so calculated, so venomous, that it's going to poison the WWE locker room for years to come. And if you don't watch this until the very end, you're going to miss the single most important piece of evidence that proves this attack was planned months before anyone suspected. Drop a like right now if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, smash that subscribe button because we're about to expose the most shocking return in recent WWE memory, and leave a comment telling me if you think this attacker is justified or if they just made the biggest mistake of their career. The cage was supposed to be a battleground. 2 teams, 10 warriors, 1 structure designed to contain absolute chaos. CM Punk stood alongside men he'd spent years despising. Cody Rhodes, the man who represents everything corporate about modern WWE. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief who's made a career out of manipulation and dominance. The Usos, brothers who flip-flopped their loyalties more times than anyone can count. This wasn't a team built on trust, it was a team built on necessity, forged in the fires of a common enemy. And that enemy? Team Vision was a collection of destruction personified. Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate who needs no introduction. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish warrior with a personal vendetta that runs deeper than any championship. Logan Paul, the influencer turned legitimate threat who's proven he belongs in this business. Bronson Reed, a tsunami of a human being who crushes everything in his path. And Braun Breaker, the second-generation superstar carrying the weight of the Steiner legacy on his shoulders while carving out his own path of devastation. The match was everything you'd expect from WarGames and more. Bodies were launched into steel. Blood was spilled on canvas and metal alike. The crowd was deafening, writing every single near-fall, every dramatic comeback, every moment of brutality that made this match the spectacle it was destined to be. CM Punk, despite everything he's been through, despite the injuries, the controversies, the years away from the business he loves, was fighting like a man possessed. Every strike had intent. Every movement told a story. This wasn't just about winning a match, it was about proving he still belonged at the top of this industry. And then everything changed in the span of 30 seconds. The camera caught it first, a movement that didn't belong. While referees were distracted, while commentary was focused on the carnage inside the ring, someone began scaling the outside of that massive cage structure. Dressed head to toe in black, face obscured by a mask that concealed their identity completely, this figure moved with purpose and precision. This wasn't some random interference. This wasn't an opportunistic attack. Every movement was deliberate, calculated, rehearsed. The crowd's reaction shifted immediately. Confusion mixed with anticipation. Who was this? What were they doing? And most importantly, whose side were they on? In WarGames, the answer to that last question means everything. The figure reached the top of the cage, and for a moment, just a single moment, they paused, looking down at the chaos below, surveying the battlefield like a predator choosing its prey. And then they dropped down inside. CM Punk was in the middle of a comeback sequence. He just delivered a series of strikes to Braun Breaker. The crowd was rallying behind him, chanting his name with that familiar rhythm that's followed him throughout his entire career. He was seconds away from potentially setting up his team for victory. The momentum had shifted. Everything was going according to plan. Until it wasn't. The masked figure landed and immediately locked eyes with CM Punk. Not with Cody. Not with Roman. Not with any member of the opposing team. With Punk. And in that moment, even before the first move was made, you could see the recognition in Punk's eyes. The body language. The slight hesitation. He knew. Somewhere in his mind, he knew exactly who was under that mask. The super kick came out of nowhere. Picture perfect. The kind of super kick that's been perfected over years of repetition, delivered with the timing and precision that only comes from world-class training. Punk's head snapped back, his body went rigid, and he stumbled backward into the ropes. But the attacker wasn't finished. They grabbed Punk, positioned him exactly where they needed him, and then delivered a move that sent shockwaves through the entire arena. The stomp. Not just any stomp. The stomp. The move that's been used to end countless matches, to crush countless dreams, to cement countless victories. The move that has one signature, one owner, one man who made it famous. CM Punk's face hit the canvas with sickening impact. His body went limp. The attack had taken maybe 10 seconds from start to finish, but those 10 seconds changed everything. Braun Breaker, showing the ring awareness and opportunism that's made him one of WWE's fastest rising stars, didn't waste a single moment. He pounced on the fallen Punk, hooking the leg with authority as the referee counted. 1, 2, 3. Team Vision had won WarGames, but the victory was completely overshadowed by the question burning in everyone's mind. Who was under that mask? The attacker didn't celebrate, didn't remove the mask. didn't even acknowledge what they'd just done. They simply exited the cage with the same calculated precision they'd used to enter it, disappearing into the backstage area while chaos erupted everywhere around them. Commentary was screaming. The crowd was a mixture of shock and outrage. CM Punk's teammates were checking on him while simultaneously trying to process what had just happened. And social media absolutely exploded. The speculation was immediate and intense. The stomp meant one thing to everyone watching: Seth Rollins, the architect, the visionary, the man who's been absent from WWE television for months while recovering from injury, the man who has more history with CM Punk than perhaps any other current WWE superstar, the man who, if reports were to be believed, was still weeks away from being cleared to return to action. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is where you need to pay very close attention because what I'm about to tell you connects dots that nobody else is talking about. Seth Rollins and CM Punk's relationship isn't just complicated, it's layered with years of mutual respect, competition, and underlying tension that's been building since Punk returned to WWE. When Punk came back after that infamous AEW situation, after everything that happened in Chicago, Seth was one of the first people to publicly comment. And while his words were measured, there was always something beneath the surface. A competitive fire. A need to prove who was really the top guy. They've faced each other in matches that stole shows. They've cut promos that had fans debating for weeks. But they've never truly settled the question of who's better. Every encounter has ended with more questions than answers. Every interaction has been laced with this undercurrent of unfinished business. And now, with one stomp, all of that history came flooding back. Multiple sources confirmed within hours of WarGames ending that yes, the man under the mask was indeed Seth Rollins. The architect had returned, but not in the way anyone expected. Not to a hero's welcome. Not to challenge for a championship. Not to reunite with former allies. He returned to cost CM Punk the biggest match of the year. He returned to make a statement that's going to echo through WWE for months, possibly years to come. But why? That's the question that should be keeping you up at night. That's the question that's going to drive this storyline forward. Seth Rollins is many things, but random isn't one of them. Every major move he's made in his career has been calculated. From betraying the Shield to cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania to every championship reign he's had, Seth operates with purpose. So what's the purpose here? Think about it from his perspective. He's been out injured, watching from home as CM Punk inserts himself into the main event scene. Watching as Punk, despite all the controversy, despite everything he brings with him wherever he goes, gets opportunity after opportunity. Watching as the man who walked away from wrestling, who badmouthed the industry, who said he was done, comes back and immediately gets treated like royalty. Meanwhile, Seth has been grinding for over a decade without taking a break, carrying companies on his back, working through injuries, doing everything asked of him and more. The resentment would be natural. The frustration would be understandable. But for Seth Rollins, understanding isn't enough. Action is what matters. And at WarGames, he took action in the most impactful way possible. He didn't just cost Punk a match. He aligned himself with Team Vision, with Braun Breaker specifically, which means this isn't a one-time attack. This is the beginning of something much bigger. Braun Breaker is being positioned as WWE's next major star. He has the look, the legacy, the intensity, and now with Seth Rollins potentially in his corner, he has the veteran leadership that could take him to levels even his legendary family never reached. Seth has always been brilliant at recognizing political opportunities in WWE. Aligning with the future rather than clinging to the past is classic architect strategy. And what does this mean for CM Punk? He's now got a target on his back from one of the most dangerous competitors in WWE history. Someone who knows his weaknesses, who studied his moveset, who has the technical skill and psychological warfare ability to make Punk's life absolutely miserable. The mind games are going to be intense. The matches are going to be brutal. This rivalry has the potential to be career-defining for both men. Here's what nobody's talking about though, and this is crucial. Look back at Seth's social media activity in the weeks leading up to WarGames. Several cryptic posts about vision, about the future, about making difficult decisions. Posts that seemed random at the time but now look like breadcrumbs leading directly to this moment. He was planning this. He was building toward this. The injury might have been real, but the timing of his return, the method of his return, this was all orchestrated. If you've made it this far, do me a favor. Subscribe to Ring Rumble right now. Not because I'm begging, but because you deserve to have someone break down these stories with the depth and analysis they require. We're not here to just regurgitate what happened. We're here to understand why it matters, what comes next, and what it means for the future of professional wrestling. Your support allows us to keep bringing you this content, and honestly, we're building something special here together. The fallout from this is going to be nuclear. CM Punk is going to want revenge, and when Punk wants revenge, things get personal fast. We've seen it before. We've seen how he operates when he feels betrayed, when he feels disrespected. Seth just painted a target on himself that might be bigger than he anticipated. Yes, he's aligned with Braun and potentially others from Team Vision, but Punk has his own allies. Punk has the crowd. Punk has momentum. And most importantly, Punk has nothing left to lose. This storyline is going to dominate WWE programming for the foreseeable future. Every appearance either man makes is going to be must-see television. Every promo is going to be dissected and analyzed. Every match they have, whether against each other or in separate programs, is going to be viewed through the lens of this rivalry. WarGames wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning of what could be the defining feud of this era. So where does this go from here? Royal Rumble is coming. WrestleMania season is approaching. The possibilities are endless, but they all lead through the war between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. A war that's been brewing for years and has finally, definitively begun. The mystery attacker has been revealed, but the story is just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single moment of what comes next.